Hello, welcome back to Grandpa Streams Minecraft. My name is Sister Wes. Welcome. Excuse me. It is the first Saturday of 2026, and I am back here streaming on my Forever World. And I have been working a lot this week on my Minecraft world, and I've made some big achievements, I guess you would say, that are going to set me up quite well for the future. So let me show you some of those. This is the top floor of my new storage room, and we've got a nice balcony here. These chests are the unsorted items I've got so far, mostly the deep slate and stone that I dug out as I was digging out a place for the storage room. You can see it's just long enough that our chests disappear there at the end, but they're there. And we have all our wood on this level, and this is the red level. And you can see we've got lots and lots of shelves around as trim, and don't think that didn't take me a long time to collect that much mangrove wood. The only thing that's not done in here is this back wall in this ancillary room, and I'm not sure what we're going to do in here. Probably a potion room. Next door we've got another room. We've got to do that wall too. Here we've got a staircase that takes us back into the redstone. For our storage system, this is an Impulse SV sorter. Simple, effective, but it will require a lot of space to have every item in Minecraft in here. We're not going to put the non-stackable items in here, of course, and there are also a few other items that I will probably leave out that I simply don't expect to get that many of. Pottery sherds, for instance, I'm not going to be storing pottery sherds. I'll probably be crafting them right away into pots, so they don't really need a spot. The second floor here is our white room with light oak, pale oak, that's what it's called, and again, shelves for trimming around the top. This time we have the hanging lanterns. This does not have quite as high a ceiling as the other room. And let's see, I've got 5 full double chests of deep slate here, and about 4.5 double chests of cobble deep slate. So I'm going to have way more than will fit into 6. So those items, and possibly stone and cobblestone, will need to have an overflow somewhere. Right now, just got over 2 chests of cobblestone and about the same of regular stone. And right now I'm working on the 3rd level, and you can see I've only got about half of the chests in here so far. None of the walls are finished because none of the other walls are finished. They're covered up by that wood trim that I have up there. These, as you can imagine, each floor uses a huge amount of wood to make not only these chests but the hoppers behind them. So I have completely used up all the wood I had. I've used up all of the bamboo that's come out of the bamboo farm several times. And finally, I've been chopping down the trees here in the jungle, which I was going to do anyway because I want to build some more farms in their place. Hello, Mumbo. So you can see we are now at day 1370. And I finally feel like I've made some progress that warrants that much time spent. Look around. I got blown up by a creeper. I didn't get killed, but he blew up part of my land there. And here's a skeleton. Yeah, here's Skeletor. That was sad. Okay. Anyway, we can look right over here and see we had jungle all the way to the end of this hill, and it doesn't look like I've cut that much down, because I'm only to this point. Well, let's see if I can hit this guy from far away. Oh, he despawned. Okay. But this accounts for quite a bit of, there were so many trees here together, especially these little low ones on the ground. And there's a piece of a oak tree still standing over here. Chop that so those leaves can despawn. Yeah, it came out to about 8 stacks of logs, which seems like a lot of wood, but did not really last me that long. I'm going to throw on my elytra here and zip over to the farms. I haven't been over here in a while, and there have been a couple of thunderstorms. I wouldn't be surprised if my poor villagers have been turned to witches, but it doesn't look like they have. Looks like everything's good. So underneath here, we've got a full storage of vegetables and stuff. Let's see. Just grab the bone meal out of here. And I really need to empty these, but I'll do that off stream. Stick the bone meal in here. Throw those leaves in the bone meal maker. And let's take a quick look at the other things I've done besides the storage room. And first, we will fly over to the future location of Sycamore City, to where our blimp is up in the sky, or what will eventually be our blimp. And you can see not much has changed in its construction. I haven't added any more to it. We'll do a little bit of that today. But we have a nether portal here, and this nether portal takes us to the nether roof, which is awesome. I was always under the impression that you needed to break bedrock to get up to the nether roof, but it turns out you don't. You just need to dig up from underneath to very close and use an ender pearl, which I did. Just grabbing some mushrooms here. Don't know why. Maybe I'll make some mushroom soup. Anyway, I haven't built anything up here, but this will be a place where farms are built. And I should have got extra rockets, but I think I can make it. We got one more stop, and we might be able to see it from here. And that is, I built a new mob farm. It's off in this direction. Let's see if it loads in real quick. There it is. I, of course, followed a tutorial, and I was telling my son that it's a Hermitcraft worthy mob farm, but honestly, if it were on Hermitcraft, there would be at least one more of these, and probably 3 more. but it works super good. And I AFK'd for just about 5 minutes and had enough gunpowder and string, which I've harvested out of here, that'll keep it completely filled my inventory with rockets, and enough string that completely filled my inventory with scaffolding, which is cool, plus the other goodies that I get. One of my buckets left over from the construction, and there's more gunpowder here, but I'm just going to leave it for now. And we'll just fly over this way, and that'll take us right back to History Station, our main base area. And we'll go right back over to the iron farm. This guy's still wandering around. I've been trying to get him to come out of the iron area. There's another villager that wandered off in this direction. I don't know if he survived or not. And then a third villager who's been living down in my super smelter down here. I wish they'd just like go back into the library, but I don't really need them for anything, so I guess I'll just let them do whatever they want. You want to go outside? There, you can go outside. I opened the fence for you. Yeah. All right. So in the meantime, let's go in here and grab some iron. I don't want to get close enough to the zombies that they hit me, because they'll be killed because I have thorns on my armor. Alright. I've been using up all the iron for hoppers. And I'll continue to use iron for hoppers, but this iron farm is efficient enough that I don't really have to worry about it. I can take all this iron now and it will replenish. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm having a good day, more or less. I got up this morning and went and had my car smogged and registered it at the DMV. I went yesterday, but right when I was in line waiting to get it done, their computer went down. And you can't do anything without computers, so I had to come back. That was fine. Since then, I've been kicking back and relaxing and reading some comics. Noisy. All right. We'll throw those extra ingots back in there. We'll take a walk back over here and pick up a few more rockets, because I don't want to be without. It is nice to be able to fly whenever I want to, though. I've had the Elytra, or Elytra if you will, for a while, but have been using it very sparingly, simply because of the fact that I didn't have a good source of gunpowder. Oh, one other thing. I also conquered an ocean monument. And by conquered, I mean I used my newfound gunpowder supply, made some TNT, blew 3 holes in the top of the monument, and went down and killed the Elder Guardians. Didn't do anything else. Didn't build a farm out of it, but that is something that I plan to do at some point. Grab those, and I'm going to put some of that extra bread away. Bread is not a great food source, but I have so much of it that might as well use it. Also, my kelp farm is doing real well, as you can see. I need a smelter up here, and in the bamboo farm I need to set up a crafting system so it crafts the bamboo pieces into bamboo blocks. Anyway, as I said, I've been reading comics, and let me tell you what I found. I was online looking for a t-shirt because I had seen a t-shirt with Carson of Venus that I really wanted. Now, if you're not familiar with Carson of Venus, he is one of the creations of Edgar Rice Burroughs. And Edgar Rice Burroughs, the creator of John Carter of Mars and Tarzan of the Apes, one of the great writers of adventure stories. And I've been a huge fan of Edgar Rice Burroughs since I was about 9 years old. So I saw somebody had the Carson of Venus shirt, and I decided I wanted it. So I went online, and I went to Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated, the home for all things Edgar Rice Burroughs, and they had a whole bunch of great shirts, and I bought two, one of them being the Carson of Venus shirt. But I also found that they had web comics. They are in the style of Sunday Sunday newspaper comics. And if you're not sure what that means, I'll explain in a minute. But anyway, they have about 30 series, comic series, and they add to them weekly, add to the stories. And I should have brought a bed up here. Oh, there's one up here already. And it costs about $22 for a yearly subscription to read all of them, all the comics. So I signed on, and I started my first read today of them. The first one I'm reading, they have some of the comics based on some of the more famous properties that Edgar Rice Burroughs came up with: the Tarzan of the Apes, John Carter, Dejathoris of Mars, The Land at the Earth's Core, The Land That Time Forgot, all these great things. And they've also got some based on the westerns and historical fiction that he wrote. He was really a master of adventure, covered a lot of different genres. Not only that, way before anybody else thought of shared universes, Edgar Rice Burroughs had one. His stories have just enough crossover in them that you know that they take place in the same universe, the different series. So Tarzan of the Apes takes place in the same universe as John Carter of Mars and At the Earth's Core. But anyway, the first comic that I'm reading is Jane Porter Untamed, which so far is really good. And if you don't know who Jane Porter is, she is the Jane in Tarzan and Jane. And well, it's great. Let me tell you, Edgar Rice Burroughs, and by extension, the people who are writing the new comic editions of his stories, comic book editions of his stories, really know how to create a compelling and strong female character without destroying the male characters first. This whole idea that seems to be prevalent in a lot of current movies and TV shows, that the only way to make the female character stand out is by first eliminating the heroic male character. A classic example being the last Indiana Jones movie. Well, Jane doesn't need to get rid of Tarzan to be a really amazing character She is amazing in this book, or the comic. She's kicking butts all by herself. And anyway, so when I said they are in Sunday morning comic style, what I mean is, back when I was a kid, people were still reading the newspaper. The Sunday paper would come with a big fold-out, usually 4 pages. When I was a kid anyway, it might have been more times past. But it would have a big fold-out, 4 pages of comics. And most of them were comedy comics. You'd have Dagwood and Blondie and Little Orphan Annie and all these. Where is that guy at? Oh, right below me. They would have, but they would also have adventure stories, adventure comics. Dick Tracy, Flash Gordon, Tarzan was a big one. Even some modern characters made their way onto those Saturday comics. I remember that there was a Spider-Man one, at least at one point. And so on these adventure stories, there would usually be about the equivalent of 2 pages of the comic book. And so you would read those and wait for next week. Well, these are kind of the same format, about 2 comic book pages, and with a logo on each time. Oh, look at that. There's a jungle temple over there. I haven't really explored this area that much. Let's fly over there. Anyway, if you're into Edgar Rice Burroughs adventure stories, comic books, or web comics specifically, highly recommend check out Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated. I believe their website is edgarriceburroughsincorporated.com. A little bit of lag there. Also, like I said, they have some great shirts too. I got a Carson of Venus shirt and a Pellucidar shirt. Pellucidar is Edgar Rice Burroughs' Land at the Earth's Core. And Carson of Venus, like I said, one of Edgar Rice Burroughs' lesser known hero characters, but one of my favorites. And the reason why is because he was in some ways more interesting than Tarzan or John Carter of Mars, because they were both super heroic and Carson was too, but he was, ouch, he was less infallible than the other two. Tarzan and John Carter both super heroic and never screwed up, basically. If they did anything, if John Carter ever screwed up, it was because, you know, he ran into danger too often or something like that. But Carson Napier, the character, look at that. smithing things. Carson Napier messed up all the time. He made wrong decisions, but he was still a heroic, fun adventure. For instance, he was trying to go to Mars in his spacecraft in the first place and miscalculated his trajectory. He forgot to include all the gravity variables and ended up flying toward Venus instead. That was a nice little excursion. And our blimp is slowly starting to look like a blimp. I'm kind of thinking I should have maybe used light gray wool to build the whole thing, but I've started with iron blocks, so I'm going to continue to use iron blocks. And I'll probably use some light gray and maybe some white wool and some other materials as contrasty things. I built one of these before in one of the SMPs that I played on, and I use these blocks, and I wondered that I was able to build it all, but as I remember, someone on that server had built a humongous giant iron farm and had way too much iron, tons of iron. Okay, let's fly over toward Glenbuck. Glenbuck, our medieval town. And we got a lot of villagers here having a party. Mind if I crash the party, guys? A lot of unemployed guys. And our poor iron golem here has been just beat up. If I had some iron on me, I would cure him. But I suppose that they will build. Oh, there's another one right there. So, and another one in here. Good. Okay, good. Keep them safe. So we'll just take a walk down here. I've, quote, fixed, unquote, the, I'm surprised that all the farmers are still here. I opened up the gate so they can come out and walk around, but all 4 of them are still over here. I need to come and finish planting this field so I'll have something to do. Wait a second. There's even one more than I left you guys with, and a baby. Okay. So they're multiplying. So I fixed the roof over here a bit. It still looks kind of ugly. You know what? I'm going to leave it. Or maybe not. I should have maybe just come out to here with the top and then come down. I could do that. I wonder if I did it on the other side. The two ends are quite different structurally, and so this one I'm actually happy with. So maybe I'll leave this one like this, but I'll stretch this one out. That's a problem for another day. In the meantime, I've got another little build over here that I'm working on. Hello, Wells. Speaking of this build, I put out a video on my channel looking back at some of my old builds, and you can see the completed blimp from that other series on that video. It's very short. It's only about 12-13 minutes long. But also, there was a little gatehouse that I built that I thought looked pretty good. And let's see, say about half of these. That's right. And I thought I would try and recreate that here. So we've got the lower level, which has an opening that the minecart travels through, and then we've got an upper level here, which is going to be a little bit larger. I'm thinking, I thought at first when I was building it that I might use it for a storage place for that additional deep slate, but I think that's too much deep slate. I need something smaller. I mean, I need something larger for it, and this will be used for something less space intensive. And we don't want these windows to be exactly opposite from each other, so we'll do like this. And there's going to be an outside stairway to take us from the ground up to this upper level. And I'm going to have to take a trip out to the mangrove forest because these mangrove trees are a pain to have to grow. That, and I need to build a much bigger, badder tree farm. I need to build a tree farm like my son did on our family server, which was a big TNT design. And let's see. But I'm going to run out of mangrove wood here. There you go. That's all of it. Okay. So that's bigger than I had originally planned. I had originally planned about something maybe half to 2/3 as wide. But I think it'll look good once it has a roof on it, and once there's a little stairway on the side, and some flower boxes, etc. Okay, just hop over the jungle here. Yeah, my world here is starting to look like someplace that I like to visit, which makes me happy. This is one of the location drops for stuff going into the storage room. I have to be careful because there's a relatively small amount of stuff that I have chests for already that are hooked up, and a lot of stuff that I don't. You know what I need to see is, do I have bamboo, place for bamboo up there yet? Let's go down and take a look, shall we? As I said, all kinds of wood, and bamboo is definitely a type of wood. So we got oak, spruce, birch, jungle, acacia, dark oak, mangrove, cherry wood, white oak, and bamboo. Yes, so we got bamboo blocks and then all the different types of bamboo, and then here is a crimson wort, and the warped wort is down on the next floor. Okay, that's good, because I want to show you something else. So these two chests fill into the storage system here. Let's see. Let's do some diorite, because I know those chests aren't near full yet. Some diorite and some andesite. There we go. I don't have a place for clay yet set up. All right, so I can just go into here, pop this stuff down, that too, and it drops automatically and gets sorted into the storage room. Let me put these treasures up here. The chest isn't really a treasure, but okay. Put on my chests. I don't want to go outside and get blown up by a creeper because I don't have my chest plate on. And these two chests right here also feed into the storage room. And I'm going to place a couple more in other locations around the base, so it's easy wherever I am. If I'm here getting bamboo, it'll be easier just to come over and drop it in. So here we go. See, it's always full every time I come look, but and I'll empty it and make bamboo blocks, block of bamboo, and it fills up just right away. I think all the hoppers in there have a backlog of bamboo. Yeah, it just keeps filling. Okay. I'll toss that one bamboo back there. So I can come over to here and I can just take a few pieces of bamboo and just throw them in there, and they go down into the storage room, which is pretty cool. So right now we'll see how many chests we can make from one trip to the bamboo farm. Okay, that's all of it turned into bamboo planks, except, you know, for those three. And about 1.5 stacks. Since we're here, might as well go down one more level. Below the white and the pink level, all this wool, of course, I'm using for my redstone to sit on, it'll all be covered up, so it doesn't matter what color I'm using. I'm trying to remember to use colors that I'm not going to use in the build. However, I used a whole bunch of orange here, and this is going to be the orange level, so not that I needed anything else except for the carpeting. I'm sure there'll be plenty more wool in the wool farm by the time I'm ready. Anyway, we've got plenty of expansion room. 9 levels altogether. And we're continuing to accumulate slime. We went up above too, except for the carpet that's on the pink level. I killed a lot of slimes on the pink level. So when we get down here, Just check our slime farm, and I put a crafting bench down here so I could turn them into blocks. Actually, less than I thought. But enough, more blocks than I will probably ever need of slime. I've never made a farm that uses flying machines, and I've got plenty of, see, there's all this stuff that I dug up down here too, including more scaffolding. Wow, okay, including diamonds. So that's, you want to get a lot of diamonds and other stuff, just dig a big hole. It works. And if all these were empty, I'd have a lot more chests to use for the storage room. So I should start emptying those, but I gotta have some place to put all of that extra deep slate. So after I'm done building that little gatehouse, I need to build a warehouse in one of the districts. And it could be anywhere, but I have a great design for one that would go in Sycamore City. So over here, we have another way that we'll be able to get to the redstone once it's in. Let's see here. We have two up, so let's go ahead and put all of these chests down. And just walk backwards and do it like so. And that hole in the wall there is for the downward trail of hoppers carrying the material to the next level. Although it's not quite high enough, I don't think. And you see how quickly a whole stack of chests gets used. We got a stack and a half of chests, and we're not even going to, yeah, not even close to one whole side of this thing of one level. That's okay. So I hope you had a happy new year. I did. Stayed home and watched TV. And I don't even remember what I was watching now, but it wasn't New Year's related. It was just some good streaming binging. Let's see how much bamboo has grown again. Almost half. Speaking of binging, I just finished watching Pluribus on Apple TV. Great science fiction series. It was amazing, in fact. It was so amazing that my wife and I did something that we have never done. We binged the entire series and binged the entire series in 2 days. And enjoyed it immensely. Check out the trailer for it on YouTube. You may be completely bewildered about what it's about, but you'll be intrigued. By the creator of Breaking Bad, so that should whet your appetite. Yes, it's whet your appetite. WH. When I was teaching, some of my kids would tease me because I sounded out the H sound in words with a WH, like wheat. But if you don't say wheat, if you say wheat, you're not saying it right. The animal is called a whale. On the other hand, the country is called Wales. There's no H in it. And I would tell them this and they'd say, there's a country called Wales? Yep, there is. So I hope you guys have been playing Minecraft already this year. Look at the hole. The hole I've been down because there are torches. Have you started any new builds? Started your own Forever World? Something I highly recommend. Have you invited your parents and grandparents to play Minecraft with you? It's a new year. That's a good resolution. I'm going to encourage my old people to play Minecraft with me. Speaking of being old, I was telling my daughter-in-law yesterday that one of those many things they don't tell you about being old is how much medicine you're going to need when you're old. If you think your grandpa or grandma spend a lot of time dealing with medication, well, it's not just them. Even people my age who are in really good shape, who run marathons, that I know end up having one or two prescription medications that they can't do without. And me, I've got a whole bunch of them. That's on my mind because I've been struggling to get my doctor's office to call in a refill. Yeah, this is hard to clear because you've got not only very tall jungle, and you've got the very short jungle trees, the ones that are just one block surrounded by leaves. Then you've got oak trees mixed in them, and they're inevitably those oak trees with the branches coming off of it. Oh, and there we have some melons. Okay, let's run back inside and spend the night. I've got to come up with some goals for this Minecraft world for this year. I know I want to increase the number of days that I'm playing, the number of days on my day counter especially, because we're on day 1372 now, and that would be perfectly fine, I think, if I had been playing, or if this world had been around for just a year. But it's actually been around for 3.5 years. Much of that time I did not play on it. I was just sitting. So I need to increase that time so that it reflects how old it really is. Why can't I sleep? The stars are out. Okay. I don't need the leaves right now, and I've got enough saplings for now too. So I'll toss those into the recycling bin. Get some bone meal. Toss the apples into the chest where I have a bunch of apples. Look at that, 55 apples, and I'm sure I have more around here somewhere. I can make gold apples out of those. And that's something else that I can build on the nether roof, a gold farm, something I definitely will. A gold farm and probably a froglight farm. I love froglights, but they are such a pain to get. On our family server, I set up a farm with just 3 frogs, basically standing around until they were approached by magma cubes in the regular nether. But even then, I just barely had as many as I really needed. Let's go back over and get some more iron. This trip we're going to make hoppers. It's funny how some things in Minecraft have become just so easy to get. Copper, for instance. I remember the first snapshot that copper came out, it was actually hard to find, or hard to find enough to do anything with. And people complained, and Mojang made it not only made it easier to find, but they also made it drop more from each block. So now you got all the copper you need. Same with bone meal. When I started playing, bone meal was a pain to get, and now you bone meal everywhere, from fish, from plants. You want to come out, guy? Come on out. There you go. Go over to the library. It's nice in here. Oh, there's the other guy over there. See, he's not dead after all. And there's the third guy. I think he's the one from the smelter, because maybe? I hope he's not from inside my iron farm. You're not, are you? You've got an okay, no, he's never been traded with. So he's not one of those masons. So he must be the guy that's been living in here. This super smelter is great, but it really needs to be down in my base. I'm going to have to build a second one. +1 by the kelp farm. And I really need to get on top of my crafter creations. Oh yeah, I forgot that stone cutter was there. Oh, but I can build a nice size Asian style building with all of this. Alright, you stay safe, buddy. I need more dogs. Don't have anything but the plain white dogs, which I would like some of the new varieties. This is a nice tall cherry tree, and I made that. I had a mangrove tree there, but I needed the mangrove wood, so I cut it down, and I made this cherry tree by placing 4 or 5 cherry wood blocks and then a piece of dirt, and then planting the tree on top of that, planting the sapling and bone mealing it until it grew, and then replaced that block of dirt with another cherry wood log. Excuse me. It's a way to make a nice tall tree, but it's not much for looks as far as the shape is concerned. I really need to learn how to custom make a tree. This looks terrible. This is coming down. I keep watching these tree tutorials, but they're all making trees with World Edit or something. They're not doing it in, not even in normal creative. And that's not helping me. I did watch a Gemini Tay tutorial about how to make giant flowers, which is going to be helpful when I put some flowers into Pepperland. All right. So we're coming up on the end of our stream for today. Thank you for stopping by. Especially thanks to those of you who gave this a like or made a comment or have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate all of the above. I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time because I stream from 6 to 7 on Saturday and Sunday of each week. And I think well, we'll see how it goes for tomorrow. I'm thinking we're going to finish that gatehouse. So in the meantime, I'll get some materials collected together and have it ready. I will probably continue in my in-between stream time working on this massive storage room project. See, that was it. All that wood and only to there. C'est la guerre. I'm really happy with like this wall and the balcony. Not so much the ceiling, but I got lighting underneath all those trapdoors, so it's okay. This, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool to use pale oak stripped logs and pale oak planks? But now that I have it done, it just reminds me of the unfinished wallboard inside of my garage. So, I don't think I'm going to change it, but for this wall over here, I'll try and fancy it up a little bit. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. My name has been History Wes, aka Grandpa. This has been my Forever World. Thank you for stopping by, and as always, keep on Minecrafting.